Attorney's office has just handed over hundreds of pages of new documents, among them never-before-seen interviews with Caylee's grandparents, George and Cindy. Local 6's Mike DeForest has spent the last hour reading through the documents. And Mike, what have you learned so far?
Well, Eric, for one thing, we're learning more of the lies Casey told her parents, like the time she told her dad she was robbed at gunpoint while working at Sports Authority. George Anthony was stunned when he confronted the store manager and learned his daughter never worked there. But nothing was as shocking to him as the day he discovered Casey's reeking car in an impound lot.
George Anthony still holds out hope that his granddaughter Caylee was kidnapped and will eventually be found alive. But on the day George picked up Casey's car from the impound lot and noticed that horrible smell, his experience as a former deputy sheriff kicked in. I believe that there's something dead back there, George told detectives, and I hate to say the word human. George admits he knew something was wrong and was nervous about what he'd find in the trunk. As he and an impound lot employee walked around the car to open the trunk, George says, I think I whispered out to myself, please don't let this be my Caylee. Inside the trunk, George says he noticed a basketball-sized stain on the carpet, as well as some Arm & Hammer laundry detergent and a plastic garbage bag containing a pizza box and maggots. Driving the car home, George says the smell was so bad he couldn't breathe. According to George, when he pulled the car inside their garage, his wife Cindy exclaimed, Jesus Christ, what died? And then immediately said, it was the pizza, right? In a separate interview with detectives, Cindy said she was concerned Casey's car might disappear. We parked it in the garage, opened everything up, took the battery out of it just in case someone came home to try to get the car. We took the battery out of it. Never know.
It was later revealed that there was never any pizza in Casey's car, only the pizza box. Behind closed doors with detectives, George Anthony admits his daughter lives on the edge and says he was shocked to learn that Casey had been partying at Fusion nightclub during that first month after Caylee's disappearance. Mike DeForest, Local 6.
All right, thank you, Mike. As we know, Casey Anthony told detectives from the very beginning she left Caylee with a babysitter at the Sawgrass Apartments. Of course, that turned out to be a lie, but why did she name that apartment complex specifically, and how did she come up with the name of the alleged babysitter? Local 6's Lewis Bolton been pouring through those same hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents and joins us now with more. Lewis.
Well, we are learning that Casey Anthony did, in fact, have a connection to Sawgrass Apartments. Her longtime friend lived there for 3 years, and we know that Casey did visit his apartment. That friend is Dante Salati. Salati lived in the next building over from where Casey told investigators she left Caylee. In fact, he says his apartment was about 500 feet from apartment 210. Salati also told investigators that Casey had been to his apartment before, but the last time was January of 2007. Now, that's a year and a half before Caylee was last seen. He also told investigators Casey never brought Caylee to his apartment. And keep in mind, this is someone Casey Anthony has known since high school. So the detective asked him, do you think if Casey would come in there to drop her child off at an apartment 500 feet away on a regular basis, do you think you would have had some idea that was going on? Salati says yes. So we know Casey's connection to Sawgrass Apartments, but we still don't know how she came up with the name Zenaida Gonzalez. There are a number of theories, but of course no one knows for sure except Casey. Now, we're learning from the documents released today that detectives have tracked this family's every move. They even have e-pass transactions that show them exactly which toll plazas they used and when. We're going to have much more on that coming up later on today. For now, we're live in the newsroom. Lewis Bolden, Local 6.
Thank you for that, Lewis. Within the last hour, Cindy Anthony released a statement, this one here, through a family spokesman. Have a look. I know that Casey's attorney knows she is innocent, but they cannot ignore how the media has already spun the facts and convicted her. Goes on to say the defense and the family will never give up on looking for Caylee, end quote. Well, right now, EcuSearch is back in Orlando to launch a new search effort to find Casey's 3-year-old daughter, Caylee. They are looking for volunteers, a lot of them, to help them find her this weekend. Kimberly Houck, live near OIA, where this team is expected to begin their searching. And Kimberly, this Leonard Padilla, the bounty hunter, is he coming back to town here to help in the search?
That's what he says, Eric. He's coming back to town later this afternoon. He says he's coming with bounty hunters from across the nation that also want to help look for Caylee's remains. Now, EcuSearch says this search that they're launching this weekend is expected to be the largest missing person search in the history of this country.
EcuSearch is heading back into the woods surrounding the airport with what they think will be 3,000 to 4,000 volunteers who will comb the area looking for the remains of missing 3-year-old Caylee Anthony. Concentrating on an area of about 25 square miles, team leaders say they will bring in the heavy equipment to leave no spot unturned.
We are looking for Caylee based on what law enforcement's investigation has led us, and that is telling us that we need to look out in the fields. Now, had there been information from law enforcement that Caylee may be alive, we would be doing searches in and around the country.
The Anthony family says they're 100% sure Caylee is still alive. But EcuSearch team leader Tim Miller tells us he understands and sympathizes with the family's need to cling to hope. But he also says he will not be using his resources or team members to look for a child he does not believe is alive.
The Anthony family has been invited to help out with this search, but EcuSearch says they are not working closely with them. Now, on Friday night, 250 search team leaders will be meeting to hash out a game plan. Then they will hit the ground at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning to begin their search. And if you'd like to help, if you'd like to show up and help in that search, you are to meet them at Shadow Ridge and Lee Vista Boulevard at that intersection. It's by the Hertz Rental Car Company, and that's out here by the airport. Reporting live, I'm Kimberly Howe, Local 6.
All right, Kimberly.